whatever the circumstances, others have reasons for writing. This is called the other's purpose. The three most common types of other's purpose are to entertain, to inform, and to persuade. Think about the last time a story made you laugh, cry, or tremble with fright. These type of stories are written with a particular purpose in mind, to entertain the reader. Others write many kinds of stories to entertain, including humorous fiction, realistic fiction, fantasy, fairy tales, and fables. While fiction entertains, non-fiction has a different purpose. Many non-fiction writings or texts are written with the purpose of giving information about an interesting topic. Others who write to inform must research the subject to ensure that they convey accurate information to the reader. Some examples of texts that inform are encyclopedia entries, news articles, expository non-fiction books, and interviews. All of these types of writing give information about certain topics. Sometimes others write because they want to convince the readers about something. This is called argumentative or persuasive writing. Oftentimes, texts that are meant to persuade use specific techniques to make the reader care about the subject and to think about it in a certain way. These techniques might be found in letters to the editor, argumentative essays, or persuasive speeches. Next time you read a text, see if you can figure out what the other is trying to tell you. It might be easier than you think. Just ask yourself, what is the other's purpose? Which of the following is most likely the title of a passage in which the other's purpose is to entertain? The Adventures of Wild Wizard, I think C. According to the passage, others who write to inform want to a certain topic. Yep. The other's purpose in writing this passage is to inform. Based on its use in paragraph 3, it can be understood the word convey belongs to which of the following word groups? B. The letters to editor section of many newspapers allow readers of course, to persuade. According to the passage, texts are meant to persuade often. This is kind of easy. I think it's like 8th grade. Okay, anyway, so let's come to 10th grade. Do animals dream? I think, yeah. I'll make my own hypothesis first, and let's see whether or not my assumption is correct. Okay, I don't know. Dogs or other animals might have dream like humans, or maybe they don't. I don't know, but let's read this. Sometimes when my dog Zippy is fast asleep, her legs twitch, her nose wrinkles, and she barks softly. Like many pet owners, I am sure that Zippy is dreaming. Unfortunately, Zippy cannot tell me what she was dreaming about, but it certainly looks exciting, although many once believed that only human beings were capable of dreaming. A few recent studies have not only offered scientific proof that animals dream, they have also given us an idea of what they dream about. Dreaming mainly occurs during rapid eye movement, REM sleep, which is the final stage of sleeping. Although insects and fish do not enter REM sleep, some birds and all mammals do. Of course, just because an animal is in REM sleep does not necessarily mean that it is dreaming. It is obviously unlikely that an animal will be able to tell us whether or not it dreams. In order to scientifically determine whether or not animals actually dream, scientists at MIT conducted a series of experiments on rats. First, the scientists trained the rats to run through a maze. While the rats ran, the scientists monitored their brain activity. The scientists were specifically interested in the hippocampus, a structure in the brain responsible for memory. While the rats ran through the maze, the scientists observed the rats' brain waves. As the rats remembered different places in the maze, the brain waves moved in particular patterns. The scientists then studied the rats' brain waves as they slept. They noticed that the sleeping rats' brain waves moved in the exact same patterns as they did when the animals were awake. The discovery led scientists to conclude that the rats were most likely dreaming about running through the maze. In another experiment, University of Chicago scientists Amish S. Safe and Daniel McGoliash observed the brain activity of birds called zebra finches. When male zebra finches are in search of a female, they sing a special mating song. After hooking the birds up to special monitors, Dave and McGoliash observed the bird's brain wave as they sang the song. The researchers then examined the brain waves of the birds as they slept. They discovered that the sleeping birds had similar brain waves to the birds who sang the mating song while they were awake. This led Dave and McGoliash to believe that the birds were dreaming about the mating song, possibly as a way of rehearsing it as they slept. If the experiments with rats and finches are any indication, then animals, like many humans, probably dream about what they experienced during the day. As they slept, the MIT rats seemed to run through the same maze they went through every day. The dreaming zebra finches looked as if they were practicing the same song they sang when they were awake. Although human dreams are often a blend of realistic and strange, silly, or even frightening, we do not yet know if the animals' dreams have these peculiar elements as well. Were the rats simply running through the maze, or was there also a gigantic wheel of cheese chasing them as they ran? Were the finches simply rehearsing their notes for potential mates, or were they singing in front of thousands of screaming fans? Perhaps we'll never know. One piece of information in the passage suggests that insects and fish probably do not dream. Measurable way do not enter REM sleep, right? Yep. According to the passage, the hippocampus is a machine that measures brainwaves in animals. Nope. A type of brainwave animals produce in sleep, making memories. As used in the final paragraph, what is the best synonym for peculiar? It means unusual. According to the passage, the research performed by scientists on rats and zebra finches found that rats and finches do not remember their dreams when they wake up. Not exactly. Rats form memories more quickly than zebra finches. Or nope. Animals seem to remember things they do while they're awake. I think 3. As described in the passage, one major difference between the study performed by Dave and McGoliash and the experiment done at MIT is that brain activity only when the animals would sleep. No, MIT did measure measure the brain waves when the animal was awake, and then make comparison between the brain waves when they are sleeping and the brain waves when they were awake. So yeah, this is not correct. Wait. I think B really makes sense because the MIT did need to, train the rats in order to run through the maze. But in the experiment of the University of Chicago, in that case, the zebra finches do not need to learn anything because that they innate ability. They can do that in the wild. Nope. It said similar brain waves. So what animals dream about? No, I think B. Which of the following findings will most weaken the scientist's conclusion? It doesn't really relate. It's like irrelatable. Doesn't have anything to do with do animals dream? So yeah. Nope. Okay. So I passed the test, and let's continue with the 10th grade. Can reality be captured? Oh my god, I did read this once. But anyway, so let's start again. Can reality be captured? Passage 1. There is a very famous painting, what is often used to teach students about representations, painted by the beggar Rainy Margaret. The judgery of images shows a lifelike tobacco pipe, like this, as you can see. But underneath the picture, it paradoxically states in French, "This is not a pipe." In the standard interpretation of the work, Margaret painted it to suggest that image is always just an image. Regardless of how lifelike something may appear, no painting can truly capture reality. Art historians might debate the actual meaning of the work, but I like the simplified explanation. It is a useful tool in life, for it reminds each of us that no image or ideal can ever actually replace the reality of the world around us. Nothing artificial can ever truly take the place of anything natural, for the true beauty in the world exists only in the world as is, not in the world that we create. Put differently, the painting lesson to me implies that we should strive to keep the world beautiful instead of trying to create it falsely. Okay, paradoxically, I think it's like, I don't know, maybe contradiction? Let me see. I do remember that it has something to do with, contradiction and the opposite, but I'm not sure. So yeah, let's see. In a similarly absurd or self-contradictory way. Yeah, that means contradiction. It can be referred from passage 2 or passage 1 that, so this one. A deeper meaning? Nope. Of the gender of real simplistic? No. It's understood by the scientists. Place things. Not everyone agrees with the other. Yeah, I think according to passage 2, each of the following is true of the wasteland except that. Okay. T.S. Eliot, in his masterwork The Wasteland, described man as knowing only a heap of broken images. In a poem that freely quotes from words as diverse as Shakespeare, the Bible, popular songs, and Indian holy texts, this line has been interpreted as referring to the work itself. Critics have suggested the poem itself is a heap of broken images. Lines from other works are drawn and scattered without citation, and in using quotations but stripping them of their meaning. Eliot seems to have suggested a problem in the modern world. Quotations have lost their significance, and with them, self-literary words. In pointing this out, Eliot tapped into something that artists had also been alluding to in their works. Words and images had lost their meaning in the modern world. We were now entering a period in which everything that could be said had already been said and no longer mattered. Literature and art would merely be things to be chopped up and digested but not appreciated or understood. Instead, there would be broken images that depict something other than reality. It freely quotes other texts. It is critical of the modern world. It argues. Compared to passage 1, passage 2, passage 1 is more impartial. What does impartial mean? Unbiased. Nope. Okay. Continue reading. Less specific. More analytical. Optimistic. More optimistic. Oh, seriously. Okay. Which of the following is true of both passages? Both passages discuss how audiences view two artistic words. Both passages argue that there are many interpretations of creative words, the work of writers and artists. Both passages do not create words to draw general principles. I'm not sure. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Let's do a quiz.